Hi all, so I'm very excited to welcome you to my day 2 autumn lamp class. This class is all about having fun. So if you're a newbie, make sure that you enjoy this class even if you are an intermediate or someone that who has just started with watercolor. This class is all about watercolors let do their job on their own. So you don't want to control them, right? So what we are gonna do is we'll start with pouring some lots and lots of watercolors onto our background, and then we'll focus on the lamp. Okay, so then let's not wait more and jump right to the class. Come. So similar to the first one, here also we are gonna start with wetting the paper, right? So I have already drawn this lamp sketch that you can get this ready, and then once you are done, start. It's a very simple lamp, right? Even if you want to change the design of the lamp and then do something else, you can do that as well. They just remember the technique and just like see the technique once of what I am doing, so that for the other lamp also you can follow same thing, right? So if you see this distorted circle inside the lamp, that's the area that we want to keep white, similar to the area that we have kept wide in our last project, which was the sun area. So we are gonna do exactly same thing over here. Because lamp is black as in dark color, I can paint over any color if I do, right? So what we are gonna do, we are just gonna leave that circle and then paint around it and follow the same techniques as we have done in the previous class. This is just to show you that similar kind of techniques can be used in order to make different subjects. I'm starting with Indian yellow, and then the next color can be your orange color. So take your orange and then do same thing and then fill your page with some background, right? A very light wash of background for your color so that none of our pages left white. I don't want to leave any white on the page except that circle within the lamp. So make sure the rest of the page is a very diluted version of any color that you wish to fill in your background, preferably any autumn shades, right? So lemon yellow or Indian yellow, gombaj yellow, or even brown or orange if you want to do, then just very absolutely diluted version of those colors, right? So I'm doing same thing. I'm just filling my page with these colors. Okay, so once we are done painting the background, now we are gonna pour lots of colors onto the background one by one. I'm starting with burnt sienna. So we just want our paper to be wet. We don't want our paper to be dry because this is all in the background and I want that background effect. Our color drop would be a little bit softer if I do it on a wet paper, right? So we start by dropping some brown, some green, some orange, some yellows. Not particularly in any sequence. So I have done brown and then green. You can choose to do yellow and green, orange or green, green and something else, right? So it just doesn't matter what you want to do first. It's just that I will not be mixing any colors with each other. It just will keep dropping these colors onto a wet surface for a wet on wet effect. So all these colors appear in our background, and yeah, so they depict different kind of leaves. I think that's it, right? So yeah, let's keep doing. So I tried to cover all brown and then green at some places. I think I'm gonna add more later, or maybe a darker version of green. Yeah, so keep going, and so you don't have to copy exactly as I am doing, because like I can also not make it exactly as I'm doing. So yeah, because it's wet on wet, right? And you never know how your paper reacts to it. They can choose any places. See, your green can differ with mine green. The place can differ, right? It's just all that we want to make it look like some trees, that the trees are in the background. And it's the same kind of dab dab motion that we did in the previous class. If you have not watched my previous class, start with that because that's a very basic version of how to paint an autumn forest. And then we come here to understand how to paint this beautiful autumn lamp. Now we don't want to go inside that lamp area, but you can go over the other areas of the lamp because they're gonna be a bit darker in comparison to that center area from where the light is coming. Rest of the areas you can go ahead and paint. So now I'm dropping some orange and I think my paper has dried up a little bit over there on that area, just not that wet, but yeah. So if you have a very wet paper, just try to do it as soon as possible so that colors get soaked into paper a little bit and it gives you a softer edge instead of a harder. We want a hard edge, but not as of now, right? So once we do the detailing part, we'll get some there. So I've added some darker shades of green and now I'm doing same thing with the brown. So this is my burnt umber that I'm mixing with burnt sienna and then dropping, right? So I'm just trying to do in a very random places, just having fun with dropping the colors unknowingly what will happen or what would the end result be look like, right? So always with watercolors, trust your process. If your process and your techniques are good, yeah, that's it. Just have faith. Yeah. So now I think I need some finer version of the leaf. So I'm gonna take this hard bristle brush, right? And this is a very hard bristle brush. So I'm gonna take colors in this and then start doing my leaves. If you don't have a hard bristle brush, you can take any brush that you have, and then don't take much water in it, and then spread the bristles of the brush. Once you spread the bristles of the brush, you can do similar thing that I am doing. So I'm taking mix of colors at random places and just following the same dab dab motion in order to put these colors onto the paper. And don't worry about how it's gonna look like, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Just follow the process, trust the process. And in the end, always think that whatever you're gonna make will turn out absolutely beautiful. See how it is looking, right? So that tiny dabbing moment makes such a huge difference. This is a very local brand brush. It's just very hard bristle brush, right? So it doesn't get softer with water or anything. It's very hard. So it just gives you that effect actually. So for this effect, I'm using this, but I have also used watercolor brushes to do the same thing. What you have to do is you have to take very less water in your brushes and then spread the bristle of the brushes, and it gives exactly same feel to it. Same technique, right? Yeah, so just keep doing and don't think about ki, oh my God, my what is happening? My background is not looking anymore. The color that I poured in first and not looking. So what you're trying to do is we're trying to layer it, right? So we've done some colors in the background, and on top of that, we're putting more colors so that it gives us that background effect. I don't want this to be on the foreground. Our main focus is that lamp, not the background. Our background's job is to look very pretty, very colorful, right? So yeah, that's it. Now what we are gonna do, now once that is done, we will draw some trees and branches, but then they also need to be a little bit softer, right? So they don't want to give a very hard edge. So we'll go ahead and draw, like paint some branches now, right? So let's start. I think from here, I think it would be good. Yeah, yeah, that's what it would look like on the side. Yeah, let's do it then. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. So now you can see, right? You can go straight or you want to tilt it wherever. And now you see, well, because my paper is wet, when we pour the second layer of colors, right, the paper is still wet. Now if you pour the colors on a wet surface, it's wet on wet. But if your paper is already wet with colors and then you drop more colors to it, it's still wet. right? So that's why it's just spreading across the paper. But that's okay because we wanted something softer. And so this is the paint spray that I'm using. If you want to make your own version, then you can use the burnt sienna mixed with ultramarine blue, or you can mix your primaries to make this color, right? I'm using paint spray here for now. So I use paint spray with neutral tint or neutral tint around to do this work. Okay. So now while we are waiting for the rest of the paper to dry, we'll cover some lamp area, right? So just follow your sketch and then correct your lamp. So you just don't have to go anywhere to that light area as of now. But then cover the top of the lamp, the bottom of the lamp, and I think we are good. Okay, so now we keep covering the lamp part, and I think that light area is also a bit dry. So once I cover these parts of lamp, then I think I'm gonna go and over and do the lines as well. Let's see. So you will have to check your paper, right? If you think your paper is already like dry and you're okay to go over that light area, then just go ahead and do the color, right? If your paper is little bit wet, then I don't encourage because it's gonna spread, the color is gonna spread, and then the lightest area of our whole painting will not be lightest anymore, right? It will just get muddy. So I was waiting for it to be slightly dry, and when I was confident enough that yeah, now I'm okay to do it, right? So my paper was little dry, but that's when I went ahead and did those lines. Now for the lines, right, I recommend you guys to use size 1 or size 2 brush, not bigger than that, because it's just not gonna look nice. It will make your lines a little broader, which is not the case. We want some fine lines and then that's it, right? I was so worried about painting this part while shooting because oh my god, what if something goes bad, right? So yeah. So I think that's it on the lamp part. We'll do the detailing on the lamp, which is like giving it some frosty or snow kind of effect, right? It's just not really that, but due to that weather, it just gone something over it, right? So now because my paper is wet and it just looks like everything has went into background, I want to put something in the forefront, right? So it gives a feeling of something is there, some leaves are still there. So that's why I'm using the same brush and again covering. So what we are gonna do, we are doing in this class is we are layering, right? So if you understand, we started with very basic wash. We poured some colors. We waited for some time. Then we added more colors. We added more branches. Then on top of that, we added more trees, leaves, right? So yeah. So now I'm just speeding up the process and I'm using my hair dryer to dry my painting. If you prefer to use hair dryer, you can use it, and always remember when you use your hair dryers or any natural also, right? Your watercolors go dry a one shade lower than the tone you have set, right? So if I put some yellow, it's gonna dry a little lighter. It's not the same with gouache or acrylic, but then watercolors do that. So yeah, so you can also use water dryer to speed up your drying process, or if you have time, you can leave the paper and let it naturally dry. So pause the video until your paper is dry so that you can move ahead, right? So this is now the detailing part. So now what is left in this painting is do the detailing. So you do the detailing of your branches of that tree. Basically, we are giving that tree, right? A look to the tree. So now you can do a go ahead and detail it out. So you can add any number of it. So I just prefer to do this way, but then your tree can actually be beside the lamp and go in the upward direction. It should not like come out of the lamp. So it's just up to you, right? So we have already practiced as in this kind of tree, which is very simple tree to draw. I prefer a rigger brush or a smaller size brush to do detailing. It just helps. then you don't have to worry a lot, right? And then I'm not using my hands very hard. I have kept my hands movement very light to do this. I'm so happy how it is turning out. It is giving such a beautiful autumn effect, right? So I can see that my leaves or my trees are in background while my lamp is in the focus. Oh wow, this is just beautiful. I'm so happy how it is turning out. I hope you guys are having fun. Please let me know in the review section if there is something that you want me to improve in my classes, and I'll try my best to do that. And I hope that you guys are having fun. I had so much fun while I was recording this class. This was my very first one. But yeah, I think I learned loads. Because when you try to shoot something and that you want to explain people, right, how to do it, you're basically, so every and another person is actually relying on you when you are explaining something, right? So for that, I think I learned a lot while doing this one. Okay, so now I'm using cadmium yellow, which actually would come on top of any color. So you can use the color, or else I have maples yellow also, right? So you can do a combination of your compost yellow mixed with maples yellow, and then you can do on top. Now, what happened when I did the detailing on the trees, right? The trees came a lot in forefront, but I want to hide it down. I want to tone that down, right? And that's why I'm just gonna go over and put some colors on top of the tree, so it just doesn't look like that it's very in the foreground, right? So the trees, the branches and everything, it just goes little bit in the background. That's what I am doing here. So as of now, I use yellow, but then you can use another colors also. So when I feel like I have to add more of an orange somewhere, I do that. If I feel like I have to add some browns over there, I'll do that. But if I'm satisfied, I'll leave it, right? So that's just up to you, because it's your painting. It's not gonna be exactly similar. It will be more and more beautiful. Trust me. So just enjoy the process. And if you feel that you want to add some darker shades at some point, then just go ahead. Don't shy away from adding them. Just try that route, right? Now, because I think when I did the lamp, my paper was not perfectly dry, so the colors, if you see, right, the lamp looks a bit distorted. So I'm gonna just go ahead and correct that part. So once I dry this, whatever I've done, I'll just go ahead and correct that part. So I will take my paint spray and neutral tint mixture again, and I'm gonna go over the lamp for detail and the structure to make it correct. It just doesn't look right to me as of now. And that is why I was highlighting that you need to be patient. You need to wait for your paper to be dry in order to do anything on top of it, right? Because if your technique is not to paint wet on wet and paint wet on dry, then yeah, you gotta wait for your paper to be dry, right? Okay, so yeah, so as soon as you're done with the detailing, I'll take some, I think yellow shade of white. I was thinking, I think yellow is nicer. So I'm just gonna try to see how it looks like, right? But then those tiny dots are actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not very happy with how it's looking, right? So I'm gonna pick up my hard bristle brush. I'll take maple yellow and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the background, but with the maple yellow this time. If you don't have maple yellow, don't worry about it. What you can do, I hope that you guys have white gauze. Even if you don't have white gauze, then you can pick up your white color, mix a little bit of yellow in it, and I think that's it. That's what the effect I want, right? So it's like your weather is not very hot. It's little chilly, but it's not snowing also. But the lamp has got that frozen feeling. Okay, so that's what I was going for. So that's That's why I just took this color, and I don't wanted to do very small dab 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 detailing, very time consuming. So that's why I picked up my hard brush and did this. If you're comfortable, you can use anything else to do this one. Thank you so much for joining me in this class. I hope you enjoyed the whole process thoroughly. So now always remember, trust the process. In the end, everything's gonna be beautiful. See you guys in the next class.